he was a wonderful producer.
Yeah. He did some arrangements.
How do you say that? The Piper Man, Piper the Sailor Man coming again. I'm really liking this Mission Pipe. It's been a while, and this Virginia Gold with Perique and Turkish tobacco. Man, I haven't had Perique in a long time. It's not bad. This Perique got some sweetness to it. Well, I'm sure most of you know the story about Perique St. James, and one of the few places where Perique is grown. I think it's growing in now in other places, but I remember when Perique was almost extinct back in the 90s. And some blends couldn't be made because there wasn't enough Perique. And well, it's made a big comeback. I think in the 2000s and 2010s. And it's wonderful. I missed it. Now I gotta buy a couple of tins with Perique and Latakia. But I like the fact that I don't know where they got the Turkish tobacco from. I remember as a kid, my uncle smoking Camel cigarettes, the ones they used to roll. They used to have a roller, and my uncle used to roll his cigarettes. Just nothing else added to it. Just regular Turkish tobacco. I remember I was 14, I tried it, and I loved it. There was another brand called Bugle. I don't know if you ever smoked that. For a time, I remember I used to take, because the Middleton Cherry Tobacco Blend smoked hot, I would take some of that Turkish tobacco, add it, mix it. You know, that's when you were experimenting. You really didn't know what you're doing, and it was like really harsh. So I used to do that. Then when I began to learn to blend tobaccos, I understood one of the best tobacco blends to use as a base was the half and half. The Burley blend. Take that, then you would add some Latakia, then some Perique, and play with it a little while. Then you add a little Virginia. It was wonderful. You could play with it. Sometimes people think Cavendish is a tobacco blend. It's a processing of what they used to do to Virginians and other tobaccos. I like black Cavendish. You know, and then you let it sit and you press it. This is a great smoking little Mission Pipe, man. It's been a while. It's wonderful. I noticed watching some of the pipe making. It's amazing how these people can make, amazing looking pipes. I'm not into the artisan part. But it's wonderful to see. Some people just collect and keep the pipe. But for me, I still like the classic shapes. Billiards and bulldogs. But with them smaller pipes, you gotta be careful with the Virginia because sometimes it burns hot. If any of you have any new tobacco blends that are out there, let me know. Is it true they banned Tunnel? I just heard that. Is that true? Tunnel, you get yourself banned? What the heck is going on, man? You can't speak your mind. People can't stand that. Some people. Let's try to keep it, not get too much to politics, and keep it in pipe smoking. You know, when you talk about pipe smoking and stuff, you really don't get too much pushback. Listen, I recommend this Meerschaum pipe. I really like it. It's simple and it's giving me a good smoke. Let's see if I have another story. Back in the 1600s, I had a grandpappy, somebody from the family. They got involved in the tobacco industry. So they used to grow tobacco in Puerto Rico. The filler, ship it to Dominican Republic. There was a company, or they're still there, La Aurora and some other companies. And they used to grow pipe, and my grandfather used to go from this island to that island. Well, his wife here didn't know. He would get to that island and meet a lady or whatever, and he would marry them in the church over there. That news never got back. So he had a woman in Puerto Rico, a woman in Santo Domingo, and then he would go to Cuba. And he got married in Cuba. So he had 3 wives, 3 different islands. And back then, you had no social media, nothing like that, and nobody was going to go from Cuba to Puerto Rico to tell my ancestor anything. And then he would go to a place in Mexico that grew tobacco. I think it's called San Andres. And he would repeat that cycle, and the women would see him every 3 months, 4 months, and he would go from island to island. How I find out was through DNA. I didn't know I had relatives and these other cousins in these other islands. Relatives. I was like, what? And it was, this character was going around marrying women everywhere he went. It was said that he had like 19 children. Now, he was a foreman at the time. He was a blend and cigar taster. Came to the point, back in the 17th century, he made it all the way to New York. And they were smoking those clay pipes. I wonder what it was like back then, smoking in taverns and drinking, and smoking was such a big thing in the past. Now it's like people like the camaraderie. But I like somebody tell me, Miguel, this person makes good tobacco, or this is a nice tobacco blend. That's what I'm about, trying different blends of tobacco. Well, Sailor the Piper Man, Piper the Sailor Man. You know, I had an ancestor that was a horny toad. All right.